Deputy Minister,
Yes, sir.
thank you for checking in with us today.
It's a pleasure.
How has the day been?
It's been a good one. Yeah, long.
Okay, nice one. Thank you for giving us time. Just to kickstart this, how do you see this project, the Vaal SEZ, different from other initiatives that have been there in the past?
In a strange way, it's coming at the right time because it benefits from an experiment we ran with the Tshwane SEZ on how
Okay.
to roll out a different model.
Yes.
So what has historically happened is that the SEZs were owned and operated by provincial governments, which meant that the national government didn't have much of a direct role to play in also bringing its capabilities to get things going off the ground. And that's because of how we started out with the SEZs in the Eastern Cape back in the day.
Okay.
So with the Tshwane SEZ, we brought in the three spheres of government into joint responsibility for the SEZs, which means when decisions are made, national government is able to commit on the spot. This is what we are going to provide. Provincial government is able to commit on the spot. This is what we provide, as well as local government. That improves decision making, but also it helps the different spheres of government to make decisions on the spot and not delay with escalations. That's the first one.
Okay.
The other, I think the most important thing is that there are other movements we've been trying in directing investment in South Africa in a very concrete way. So we now know you don't need to say we've proclaimed an SEZ without having secured anchor investors. So sometimes you can say there's an SEZ here, but there's literally no firm that is operating in there. So it's an SEZ in name, but it's a white elephant. So what we've done now is to actually get a commitment from a series of companies beyond just making a pledge, but they have board decisions that say we are going to go build factory X in South Africa in the SEZ, and these are the agreements that we've struck with government. So the very process that we were talking about today, once Cabinet does the official designation, it will already be on the back of existing firms that are already in here, and some of whom have already started building their infrastructure on the ground as well.
Okay. And what I mean, you talk about the designation. Once it's approved, what is the next step? What should we expect?
You are probably going to see much more intensified construction around the area because there will have to be fencing. Let's start there. There will have to be fencing. You say. And the beauty about it is it is in three different locations, right? So you don't have one area that is an SEZ. You have three different locations across the region, the district.
Yes.
So all of those sites will have to be fenced. One, there must be infrastructure investment. So whether you're upgrading roads or you're upgrading the electricity grid or you're building renewable energy plants. So there's going to be just a lot of construction work that will start. That is going to be the starting point, which will create employment in the construction phase.
Okay. And when you were deciding on these land parcels, what was the criteria that we were looking at? Were you looking at the population per municipality? Were you looking at the area? Were you looking at the infrastructure? What is it that you was informing your decision as to say where the land parcel must be?
Well, the idea was for the population of the Vaal as a region. That was the starting point.
Okay.
But you need an SEZ that can cater for the entire region. That's one. But the specific zoning is a function of land availability. So Mfuleni would say, this is where we have sufficient land. Now, is that land located in proximity to logistics networks? Is there a power system around? Is there a water recirculation system? Those are some of the technical requirements that you then look at. So it's more of like an engineering question about which site do you pick up as opposed to saying the population density per local municipality. No, that was not the rationale because the idea is it will service the entire district.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And is the intention of the SEZ to replace ArcelorMittal or the likes of ArcelorMittal, or is it a complementary project to the ArcelorMittal?
It's complementary. Nothing is being replaced. There's a separate process of trying to keep ArcelorMittal as a going concern. That's a separate thing. And there will be other factories that we will be assisting to get them back online in the Vaal. That's not a replacement. The SEZ is to attract new investment, but that also to get back the other factories that have closed down, provide new investors with enough incentives to justify them reopening those factories in the Vaal. The idea is to try get the Vaal back to its former glory. The Vaal is South Africa's industrial heartbeat. So the idea is to basically set in motion a chain reaction that can back it, that can get it back to there. And the likes of ArcelorMittal are central to that work. But again, the rescue plan for ArcelorMittal, which is currently being negotiated by the IDC, is going a different track to the SEZ work. Yeah.
All right. And how many jobs are you hoping to create through SEZ?
Yeah, it will vary. So in the construction phase, we are looking at just off of the infrastructure upgrade, the fencing, this and the other. You're probably going to look about 1,500 to 2,500 in the second phase, first phase and second phase. But over time, as more companies are setting up, the numbers are going to go sky high. I mean, I can give you a simple example about, you have industrial parks in KZN, for instance, such as Istebe, that have about 16,000 workers within that estate. And that's on small manufacturing. But if you're talking about a massive SEZ with a high occupancy rate, so if we can have about 100 companies operating within the SEZ, then that can give you a sense of how dramatic the numbers will be. So it will be dependent on the nature of the investment. There will be employment during the construction phase. As each factory is coming on, its infrastructure is being upgraded, but there will be the direct employment by the firms themselves. And depending on their size, the employment numbers can breach 15,000 or 20,000 at any given moment.
Okay. What does success look like for you? Let's say by 2030, when you say this has been a success so far, what does that look like?
As you know, we've been able to. There's already Heineken that is setting up operations here in the Vaal. You have the likes of SAP as well committing to doing this and that. If you ask me, if by 2030 I could have nothing less than 20 companies setting up their firms, their factories, and opening up their factories in the Vaal, I would be very happy, because that would be demonstrating that momentum is in play. And once you have a growing number of firms, they then create business opportunities even for local SMMEs. So you're going to have a bit of a vibrant business cycle playing out in the Vaal. If in 2030 I could see something like that, I'd be very happy. I would know that we're actually on the money.
Okay. Yeah. My last one, I know you're pressed for time.
Yes.
If you were given a minute to talk to the Vaal residents, what do you say to them about the SEZ? What can they expect, or what do you want to convey to them?
And the simple message is that this is one strategic effort on the part of government to rebuild the industrial economy of the Vaal. So they must view that as a structured attempt by government to create the possibility of industrial employment to be reborn in the Vaal. And that is the long and short of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deputy Minister, sorry. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you for checking in with us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, my guy.
Yeah, look, the work started some time back.
Okay.
Maybe I think people must understand the whole issue about SEZs. Special economic zones, actually, they are not new in the country. We started by industrial development zones.
Okay.
2002. And when we did that work, we focused in the coastal provinces. Reason being that we were export driven and we wanted these zones to be closer to the ports so that we can export. Hence, government at the time then designated Kucha in Gqeberha, Port Elizabeth, and designated East London IDZ in the port of East London, now called Gompo Town. We designated Richards Bay in KZN because we wanted to drive exports through the port of Richards Bay. Then there was one that was designated next to Joburg, OR Tambo International Airport, as an inland port, so that we can export high-value items through the OR Tambo Airport.
Okay.
And those were the main ones that we started with this government. Then, over time,
were they successful?
Look, success is a relative term, because remember, when you build an SEZ, it's not like building a township. You are building a city in a way.
Okay.
And this thing will take time to. You can't say we are done building a city. Kucha has been there now for close to 24 years. You can go to their website and check. There are more than 140 billion investors worth of investments that they've located in Kucha.
Okay.
Got a couple of your Chinese automotive manufacturers who are located there. There are other what you call investors who are in the zone itself. It's massive land. It's about 9,000 hectares, and
Okay.
it's going to take time to fill up that land. So, Kocha is one of the best SEZs for the country, I would argue. And then East London, anchored by Mercedes-Benz, there was most of the investors in East London IDZ are what we call first-tier suppliers to Mercedes-Benz, and then your other second-tier suppliers. And then Richards Bay struggled a bit, but it's picking up now. And then there's one called Dube Trade Port, which is next to King Shaka in KZN, fairly new. It's relatively successful given the number of years because it's fairly new, and the investors that are located there, So yeah, we're doing pretty well, but you must understand, we develop these zones by attracting foreign investors and domestic investors.
Yes.
So the pace at which we attract investors to locate in these zones is informed by international dynamics economically. For example, there was a zone we were developing in Limpopo where we were targeting a certain Chinese investor who is in the manufacturing of stainless steel called Tisco.
Okay.
Right on the verge of locking down that investment, COVID kicked in and China stopped actually investing, if I may say. Then they said, no, we're pausing this investment until we see where this COVID ends. So that's the nature of investments.
Okay.
You want and you agree and you plan that you're going to do this thing by such and such a date. And then boom, something beyond your control happens. But the key issue in this nature of work is don't talk to one investor. You must have a multitude of investors in the pipeline. So that if one, for example, some investors may not be able to get financial closure from the banks. What do?
need to go
Because we
back and-
don't finance them, they are funded by banks.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that even in your assessment that this investor can actually be funded by banks. I just came out of a meeting now with South African breweries, that they want to set up a new brewery, which they have not done in South Africa for more than 20 years
Okay.
in this area, And
Do they want to set it up in Vaal
in the
SEZ?
Vaal, and they want to
Okay.
be part of the SEZ, and those are the modalities that we're going to discuss with them. So we've got such investors that you will not doubt the credibility of SAB when they say they're going to invest there.
Yes.
But something can happen. SAB Miller, remember this was SAB then, and then it got bought by Miller. It became SAB Miller. Somebody can take over SAB Miller and then say, no, we're not investing in South Africa, we're going to Mexico. So there are those dynamics that you need to balance as you do this work and try attract investors to locate in the zones. So Vaal SEZ has been up and coming for quite some time. I must submit the municipalities have been very, very good at releasing land for the purposes of this development.
Okay.
I didn't struggle really to engage with the mayors to release the land. Even Rand Water, the biggest contributor to our land is Rand Water. They gave us about 2,000 hectares of land to develop the zone. Lesedi municipality came on board, Midvaal came on board, and Mfuleni came on board.
For someone who doesn't understand the SEZ, can you please take us through the land parcels? How many land parcels do we have that are coming?
Look, we got Heidelberg Extension 24. We got Ritzspruit.
And sorry, while you're explaining the position of the land, also give us what's going to be happening in that.
In those zones. Look, they remember we're at the initial stage of the zone now.
Yes.
It's not yet operational and gazetted. Let me take you back in the formation of the SEZ, because before you start talking about investors, you need to do what is called land preparation. Land preparation, you must do your township establishment for that land, number one, for zoning to be industrial. Two, you must do an EIA to check if the land is suitable for the investment. Like, for example, one of the land parcels just discovered that it is dolomite. It's got dolomite.
Dolomatic.
Yes. So now you need to do further work and investment there. Do you want to take that land, or you want to take another piece of land that has got less challenges because of the fiscal challenges that we face? So once you pass those stages, then you say to investors, here's a potential piece of land. We've done the EIA, it has passed the EIA, we've done the township establishment, we've done the infrastructure designs and everything. Now we're going to start rolling out what is called bulk infrastructure. Bulk infrastructure is your connecting infrastructure from the municipality to the gate of the zone.
Yes.
So then you say to the investors, they'll tell you, okay, tell us, when do you think you're going to finish this infrastructure? Then you say, no, these are the timelines. And then they go back and plan their own factory establishment that, okay, I need 12 months to build my factory, or 18 months. But by month number 18, the connecting bulk infrastructure must be ready, so that I don't build a factory that cannot have water,
Yes.
electricity,
Yes.
and other bulk services. So Extension 24 in Heidelberg has passed all those requirements. We already started the construction work for the bulk infrastructure, which is connecting to the gate of the zone.
Okay.
Then the next one is Ritzbraid.
Sorry, at Heidelberg land parcel,
Yeah.
what activity is going to be happening there? Is it
Look,
agriculture based? Is it?
No, we're not going to do agriculture at all. We're focusing here on manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah, light manufacturing, not heavy, dirty manufacturing. For example, there's an investor there who's setting up a plant to produce what is called a caustic soda lye. Caustic soda lye is a product that is used. You use it at home for when your drainage is blocked. That caustic soda helps with that. You use it in the workshops for degreasing, to remove grease from components and whatnot. You use it to reduce the pH level of water for the power stations, like ESCOM. It's got industrial, home, and other uses. So that's one of the investments that are going to be set up there. The other one is going to produce what called starch from maize. Also it's going to be there, because we don't plant maize, we process everything that we do there. And then the other one is we're going to be working with rainwater, where we're going to be taking waste from rainwater.
Okay.
That waste, human waste.
Sludge.
Yeah,
Is it?
It's human waste, but I don't know what you want to call it. But you process it to produce ammonia and fertilizer and all those things.
Okay.
And then the water that is left is called grey water, which will send back to rainwater for industry, because it can be used for drinking. That's one of the key investments there. So that one actually we're going to be locating it here in Fulani sites.
Okay.
Yeah, I just forgot the name of the plot. The other one is manufacturing of these things. When you go and buy takeaways at Checkers or Woolies,
Yes.
there's got an aluminium base.
Oh yes, yes.
Then,
I see.
then you close it. They manufacture those. Those aluminium,
The holders, containers.
The containers of aluminium, disposable. Yeah. So there's a couple of them actually that these are now investors that have been confirmed, and the bank says we're waiting for designation before we give these people the funding.
Okay.
These are not investors that are still. Some of them are still at pre-feasibility. Some of them at the bankable feasibility, and some of them at financial closure. These ones that I'm mentioning, they've reached the financial close.
Okay.
And these are investors that are ready now to build the top structures.
Okay.
So that's the work that we're going to be doing. So you will find that SEZ will be leading, because SEZ gave us land that is within an industrial area. So there's no zoning challenges there, delays. The connecting infrastructure is across the road.
Okay.
And other related industrial. But if you look at others, you have to pull the water quite a distance. For example, there's one here in the Vaal where we had a problem with a natural water stream, and the EIA could not pass because we had to build a bridge over that stream. And now the environmentalists were worried that it will actually disturb I don't know, it's frogs or whatever that are there, But eventually we said, listen, it is doable. We'll elevate the bridge and have fewer pillars so that it does not interfere with that.
Yes.
So that's costly, But I'm glad because the EIA eventually passed, I think, last week for that land, which is here in the West Rand. So we're at that stage, man, that now after these public consultations, what's going to happen is that we're going to take these inputs from the public, write a submission to cabinet. Then the Minister of Trade and Industry must take that submission with those inputs to cabinet, and then cabinet must give its approval for the minister to issue a license to operate. SEZ. Yes.
This will enable the investors to then start implementing
But the beauty about this work is that you don't have to wait for the license. Like we started the bulk services in what we call SEZ because we've got confirmed investors. Now you can start building your factory whilst the whole thing is happening, because if it doesn't pass the SEZ, it will become automatically an industrial park. The only difference is that you won't be getting the incentives of an SEZ.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to take you back because I disturbed you when you were explaining the other parcels. So there's one in Lesedi.
Yeah.
How many do we have in the Mid-Vaal?
The Mid-Vaal, I think we've got Ritsprate, and then we've got the other one. Swartkopies. I just don't remember the names, but we've got about 2 here. And the third one is owned by the private sector, the Vaal Retropolis and the Vaal River City development. Yes. So you must remember, some of the developments, the land is owned by municipality and us. Some we don't own. Like SAB is coming with their own land. They say we want to be part of the zone, we got the land, but we want to be in the zone so that we can get some of the incentives.
Okay.
So we have a relationship with them that says, okay, fine, we'll be part of the zone, you will manage your land. We'll have to pay each other rentals for security and this and that.
Yes.
So some of the land will be owned by the investors, and then some of the land will be owned by us, the land that is donated by the municipality. So we've got this land here that is donated by the municipality. Then we've got land that is
privately owned.
It's privately owned. I just want to check this other to answer your question, because I think I have
there's Kookfontein Farm.
Yeah,
that I saw. Swartkopies.
There are quite many. There's Swartkopies, there's Kookfontein, there's your what do you call the Kwalamet site, but we don't own that land. It's owned by the smelters.
That's
in
the
Middelburg.
Kookfontein Farm.
Yes, it's a
Kookfontein
Kookfontein actually is next to.
Okay.
Yeah, we own Kookfontein, but adjacent to that is Kwalamet, which is private land.
Okay.
But that Kwalamet is going to be part of the what do you call of the SEZ development. I was looking for my presentation, but
okay,
I can't. Just trying to think now. If it will have the some, because I did capture them. Yeah, so these are the land pockets, man, that we're going to be looking at.
Okay. While you're looking at that, so the Mid-Vaal has got 2. Mfuleni has got how many? Is it 2 also?
Mfuleni, I don't want to say 2. There's about 3 in Mfuleni, but there's another 2 that is privately owned.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Vaal River Retropolis we don't own. It's private sector. There's Vaal River City we don't own. It's separate piece of land.
Okay. It's also private sector.
It's private sector land. And then there are these other 2 land pockets that I'm trying to find here now, if you can give me a second. That because I don't want to confuse Mid-Vaal and your what to call and your there's Heidelberg, okay, and there's this is phase 1, is Heidelberg,
okay,
which is extension 24.
That's Lesedi.
And then there's Ritsprate, which is here.
Mfuleni. Yes.
And then there's there's a Langlaagte in Lesedi also. Remember, some of these land pockets are just given. We have not done any work. We're
Okay.
focusing on the work on the sites that we've done EIA, because if it doesn't pass the EIA, we don't need that land, because what's the people's, So once we've got the land actually passing your EIA requirements, then we're able to say it's gonna find what called a space or be included in the zone.
Okay.
Yeah, because the focus man now is the 8,000 hectares that we are what you call busy developing. Yeah.
And that's which municipality is that in? Is it in Lesedi?
No. Remember, I said the land pockets are scattered between Lesedi. There's land pockets there.
Yes.
Then there are land pockets in Mfuleni. There are land pockets in Mid-Vaal.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's
They're
a lot. It's not like, because what I see is when I was looking at Vaal SEZ, I'm finding that a lot they mostly they talk about 5 land parcels.
Yeah.
But from what I'm getting from you now, you are saying actually there's a lot of land parcels that we are looking at.
Yes.
Some of them will be approved or pass. Others will not pass because of either EIA or another thing.
And even if it doesn't pass, my brother, that land will be, we can use it for agri, for example. For example, the Kwokfontein land, there's dolomitic challenges there.
Okay.
So you can't just walk away. Maybe we can look at the solar panels, farms
Yes.
there to put them. Or if it's suitable for agriculture, we can use it for agriculture.
Okay.
So we will look at the suitability of the land for. This slide is not showing. I think the memory of my cell phone is not taking. Yeah. So what we do, if it's not suitable, we then use it for agriculture or solar. Because the problem with solar, man, is that it takes a lot of land. So, for example, one of the developments here, we said, instead of this is now the private sector land, Vaal Retropolis Management Company that owns the land. They said they're going to do solar, but on the ground they're going to do the greenhouses where you do planting of high value agricultural products.
Yes.
Yeah. Then to save land, they'll put their solars on top of the roof, so that you produce on this land. You don't just put these solar panels and next thing there's this grass sitting forever,
Yes.
in productive land. So even ourselves, most of the solar, because there are guys who came, for example, asking for 2,000 hectares to do a solar farm. They don't have that kind of land for solar. What we'll do rather is to put solar panels on top of the factories, so that the land on the ground must be productive.
Also used, yes.
And then you generate energy. Look, in places like your Northern Cape, Free State, where there's plenty of land, you can do that. But this is Joburg. Land value is quite pricey here. You want to maximize the use of that land. And I'm not saying solar is anything wrong, but we're saying let's work smarter.
Okay.
Produce, then put your solar where possible on the roof of what you're doing.
Yes. Okay. And then, so because now this is dependent on investment, I assume that you don't have timelines as to say when is this one going to happen and that one going to happen. It's going to depend on investors, like you were saying.
Yeah. Look, let's take, for example, the live example, Lesedi, because there's not much happening yet here, because we have not done any interest rate. You have not done your architectural designs for infrastructure and everything. Lesedi, the architectural designs are done. Bulk infrastructure connecting is done. The investors it depends now whether the factory that must be built, is it going to take 6 months, going to take 12 months or 18 months? So what is important is to have investors who have been confirmed.
Okay.
That they are actually approved by the bank. Hence we talk about financial closure.
Okay.
So the 4 investors in Lesedi, they have gone past that stage. They're financial close now, but all they want is the confirmation. The banks actually want the confirmation that the SEZ is gazetted.
Okay.
Which is going to be an outcome of this engagement that we held today.
And maybe let's go into that. So today we had this public participation session. what happens after this?
Yeah, like I said, this work started about 6 years or so ago. You do all these high-level desktop EIA studies, identify land parcels, negotiate with the landowners, the municipality, the likes of Department of Rural Development, the likes of Rand Water were contributing their land. Then once that is done, you do the site preparation work where now you do your township establishment and your site-specific EIAs. Then once that is done, it's approved by Environmental Affairs. You say, fine, in this land pocket. In fact, the reason why you're going to get designation because you can prove with tangible investors in SEZ.
Okay.
DTI will only gazette if you say, I've got investors.
Okay.
Here are they. You know, that land pocket in Heidelberg Extension 24 is fully prescribed as we speak. These ones, Resprit and others, they are not yet financially closed, the investors that we're engaging. But we're saying DTI, here is one that is fully prescribed. Give us the designation. But in that process, add these two other land pockets because we believe, even though their investors are at an initial stage, they are credible investors, at the feasibility level. So once you do that, you say, okay, DTI will say, okay, let's engage the public to establish whether they are keen to see the investment happening here. Usually this thing, you publish the gazette and you give people the email address to submit their inputs and comments. But because we took a decision some time back in 2013 as government, that not all our people have access to email and everything, or rather introduce this process where we come to the people and allow them to make their inputs from the floor.
Yes. And there's podcasting now.
Yeah. Exactly. So those who want to write, they'll still write. The email was given there. But now for the people who don't have access to those things, okay, we'll have this process where you raise your issues, they are recorded, and then we'll take them up as part of the other written submissions. Then, this is the last one we did 3. We did one in Lesedi, we did one Midvaal, and then we did this one today.
Okay.
Yeah, after this, we're going to take these inputs to the colleagues at the DDIC, collate them, and then the DDIC colleagues must therefore check if there are any objectors, which means you have to attend to those objections. And if there are no objectors, then you take the submission to Cabinet to seek Cabinet approval. Then once Cabinet gives that approval, the Minister of Trade and Industry then announces the gazetting of the SEZ and issue the license.
Okay.
The Deputy Minister was here. He committed that at least latest by June, July, we should get that because the issue
This year. Okay.
Then the challenge now is going to be us being able to get space on Cabinet agenda because there's a queue of ministers tabling their own things in Cabinet.
Oh.
Yeah, so it usually is a challenge to get. You can't get it next week. Let me just say, you have to wait until there's your space in Cabinet.
Everyone has had their chance.
Yeah, and remember, it doesn't go straight to Cabinet. It must go to DG cluster, it must go to ministers clusters, and then Cabinet committee, then Cabinet. I think June, July is practical because April is almost half of April now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing that the residents want is jobs. And a lot of them, when they watch this, they're going to think this is another big idea, on paper. Is this really going to translate into jobs? Is this going to be boots on the ground? Is it going to be a signature on paper or ink on paper?
Yeah.
And that's the question that I want to put to you because I know a lot of people are going to say, this is just something on paper that we're going to see it happen, but we're not going to participate in it.
Look, you can't blame people because many people come and make many promises. The DA person there said it's an electioneering gimmick. When we started this work 6 years ago, we didn't know when was going to be the local government elections in the country. We're just doing our work. You know. And when you do apply for EIA, you don't say, please make sure it happens before elections. We don't care about it. We are officials. You know, we don't care who becomes the minister tomorrow, who becomes MEC tomorrow. This work was started by former Deputy Minister Machol. Now there's another Deputy Minister who's running this. The work will continue because the key issue is for us as technocrats to make sure that the work of government continues, regardless of who is elected and not elected. You know, I look. I refuse not to accept the notion that says this is just a talk shop. You know, I just had a meeting next door with SAB. SAB is not in the business of electioneering. These are serious business people. They want to invest in the zone. You know. So unless you're going to tell me that SAB now is electioneering also, you know. So we've got serious companies here. Citibank put their 1.4 billion investment for the development of their metropolis. It's an American bank. They don't care about our local elections.
Just explain Aretropolis for someone who doesn't understand.
Basically, we're building an airport that is linked to industry.
Okay.
You know, there will be industrial parks around the airport in the Vaal, just across the N1. I won't disclose the land because we're still busy negotiating with the landowners there.
Okay.
So basically what we're looking at there is to build, the starting point is to develop the SEZ, the factories and everything.
Yes.
Then these investors said, you know what, we've got our own land that we bought here. We want to be part of the SEZ. In that land, we're going to have our own factories. We're going to have our own greenhouses where we produce high-value agricultural products. But coupled with that, we want a logistics hub where we can actually move people and also move our products. Therefore, we want to build next door here an airport. Then that now you've got residential, you've got industrial, you've got agri, and you've got the airport, and then that forms the Aretropolis development that we're talking about. And this is a private sector investment, as I said. It's a Citibank from the US. So there's no talk show here. It's a serious business. But what I always tell people, you're not going to see, we're not building a four-roomed house where in the next 4 weeks it will be up with a roof, you know.
Okay.
There's a lot of work that must be put on the ground. I mean, SAB was saying, guys, we want security of water from Rainwater. We'll pull Rainwater and say, listen, SAB wants to set up here. Can you guarantee us that we'll give so many cubic meters of water, liters of water to what we call to SAB? They want security of energy. We must pull ESCOMs. ESCOM will be able to provide this level of power for this development. Ours is to facilitate and bring all the government players to make the investment happen. You know, so it's not a talk, a show or electioneering gimmick. No.
So you are saying that there will be work created, there will be jobs that are created from this.
Yes. In fact, the starting point is going to be construction jobs because we must start by providing the infrastructure.
Yes.
In the SED already, there's a contractor on site. They started February this year. The people are working there already with the rollout of the bulk infrastructure in the city. You know, so then the next site that we develop, the same story. You know, so work initially will be your construction jobs. Then the next step is your manufacturing jobs when the factories are open and people work there.
Okay. But this is it's not something that's going to happen in 2 years' time. It's going to be a long-term.
No, but why 2 years? Because they say it is happening now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Construction work is happening now in the city. And then, okay, let me give you this brief. We started doing land preparations in the city. Your EIA, township establishment, infrastructure designs and whatnot. Then that was done. Next thing we said, okay, we got investors. They are confirmed. DTI says, show us a bank letter that says these people actually, they are ready to be funded, which we did. Then we said, okay, we need infrastructure now that is going to connect to the zone. Then province put 260 million rands last year to appoint a contractor to develop that infrastructure,
Okay.
which started, and people are employed and working there. This year, the province again has allocated another 180 million rands for the development of infrastructure in these sites that we've identified. So it's not 2 years.
It's already happening.
Work is happening,
Okay.
And what is going to happen, we're just going to, what we call, roll out these sites according to investor appetite,
Okay.
and then, as I said, for now, for the next 12 months, 24 months, it's going to be construction jobs, because after this designation, we're going to start building top structures for those investors who are confirmed, which is another phase of construction of building factories.
Okay.
So then once that is done, you do the commissioning of the factories. Then now you are at another stage. Once the factories commission, you talk about long-term jobs in those factories. Yes, long-term jobs may come in the next 12 to 18 months or 24 months, depending on how long it takes to build the factories. But construction jobs are happening as we speak.
Okay. All right. You spoke earlier. You spoke about the bulk infrastructure.
Yeah.
And what we know is that with Mfuleni, especially, the bulk infrastructure is very old.
Yeah.
Because most of it was constructed when this town was being constructed, more than 70 years back. Now, who is going to finance the bulk infrastructure? Because, for example, I was reading the integrated development plan of Mfuleni, and every time when the community complain and they say there's a pothole there, the answer is no budget.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, are we not going to sit with a situation where some of these land parcels, we are unable to see activity happening in them because there is a no budget story that is running at the back? Who is going to finance the bulk infrastructure?
Like you heard me with Lesedi, the province put 260 million for bulk infrastructure.
Okay.
And then last year, which is the work that is happening in Lesedi, in the recent provincial budget speech of the MEC of Finance, he also allocated another 180 million for bulk infrastructure outside the zone.
Okay.
So province is going to pay for the bulk infrastructure, actually, for connecting infrastructure to the zone. Remember, we're not going to be building streets for residential. That's not the mandate of the SEZ. We want infrastructure that is going to connect to the SEZ, but it can be shared by the community, everybody. So that's the approach that we're following. Then the infrastructure inside the zone, because you need streets inside the zone, you need factories and whatnot. That will be paid for by the Department of Trade and Industry.
Okay.
The DTI pays for anything inside the zone.
Okay.
Then the province must finance the infrastructure outside the zone. So that's arrangement that because we said the municipalities have donated land. It's only fair that province, you must pay for the infrastructure for the zone. DTI is their policy, they pay for the top structures inside the zone.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a budget. We try to push to secure budget. I would have loved to secure another 260 million. But 180 is fine, not too bad. It will take us somewhere.
So far, 180 million has been secured.
No, 260.
260.
That is what is being used in Heidelberg.
Okay.
Then in March, during the budget speech, we got another 180 million.
Oh, okay. All right.
To roll out connecting infrastructure.
On top of the 260.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And for someone who is in the Vaal, I know we hijacked you for this one, but for someone who is in this area, there's a guy in Wipato who is unemployed. There's another one in Everton. They just finished their degree.
Yeah.
Another one is in Sharpeville, and they have a small business that is running there. How can they plug onto this onto this program?
Yeah. Look, when I was presenting there in the hall, one of the things I mentioned there is that we're going to prioritize skills development. The DTI gave an instruction that every SEZ must have a skills center to train the youth. There was an outcry there of people who are over 35 that you always say youth, what about us over 35, Yes. And also we're conscious that there are people who were artisans, who are working for some of these melters in the region,
yes,
who were displaced when they shut down. And our view is that Those are some.
I am
the
one of
people.
them, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Then you became an SMME, and then what I want to do one is to retrain those people to be reabsorbed in the what I call the employment opportunities there. But we're gonna also focus on training the youth
Okay.
in that space, and we've identified the skills that were going to be needed by the investors in the zone, that we need to train these youth in those skills that are going to be needed by the investors in the zone.
Okay.
So, and then once that is done, we still have to get the operating budget for the zone. We want to set up a portal whereby the job applicants must register their names from the Vaal into that portal,
Okay.
so that investors, when they are looking for employees for their factories, they start looking at that portal. And what we want to do is that you create an account. I mean, these kids, they've got data. If you look at the amount of food they take pictures of in Instagram, you can use that data to update your CV on the portal every time acquire a skill, so that when the investor looks, you can see that this particular young person has acquired these skills. Yeah, that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to use the same process for SMMEs of the Vaal. That
Okay.
once you launch that portal, you register your company profile, including your CIDB and whatever other professional grading that you must have. So that when we do this work, you're able to go to the portal. Yes, we still advertise, but you want to look and see what do we have from the Vaal. And it's not a pipe dream, this thing. We've done it in Gqeberha at Kucha Development Corporation, where there's training provided. There's a portal where the youth register they are what called their CVs there for opportunities in the zone. There are SMMEs that registers their profiles for opportunities in the zone. So that's what we want to do actually going forward, so that the zone is accessible to
Okay.
both the job seekers and SMMEs.
All right. For someone who wants to get more information, is there a department that they should go to, maybe from Sidibeng, or where do they go? Where is your offices?
No, remember, we're still a PMU. We don't have an office. We operate from the IDC, Industrial
Okay.
Development Corporation. They gave us office space there.
Okay.
And then now, once we've got the designation, we need to get a budget, because that's money, to get an office in the Vaal
Okay.
as an entity.
But the intention is to have an office.
You have to have it here.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, how do you interact with the community and your investors, for that matter? You know, so we will have an office somewhere here in the Vaal.
Okay.
And then, but the website is going to be our key access point now. You know,
Okay.
because we need to secure the budget for that office.
So the website, is it inexistent?
Yes,
or?
it was set up, but the information is still, because we're busy with these processes. Now that we need to go back and reactivate that website. For example, we still have to develop the portal. So I don't want people to call and say, hey, you said there's a portal. It's not there.
We can't see a
It's
portal.
not there yet. You know,
Okay.
It's part of the operationalism. Because now, once you get the designation, you must operationalize the entity, which means register the company, recruit the CEO, the staff, and everybody to run the company. Then you have all these people from marketing, and people must maintain what we call your website and your portal and everything. So
Yes.
operationalization speaks to that, but that will follow the designation process.
Okay. All right.
I'm a PMU executive. I'm not a CEO.
Okay.
We still have to find a CEO for the entity. My job is to set up SEZs, get them registered, get investors, and make them operational. Then a younger person must come and run it.
Okay. All right. Guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you
Thank
for your
you, man.
time, and thank you
Thanks.
for checking in.